I just bought this product from a 500K e-commerce brand and I reviewed their entire email marketing strategy from pop-up to delivery, which was today. And what I found was pretty shocking to say the least. They made 7 critical mistakes that are costing them thousands in lost sales every single month. So in this video, I'm going to upgrade this brand's email marketing strategy live and give you an exact step-by-step to instantly boost your email revenue. And none of this is sponsored at all, so anything can happen. I've been an email marketer for the last 5 years and worked with 70 businesses. And these exact mistakes are a lot more common than you think. So let me give you a sneak peek at their email marketing strategy. So first thing I want to cover here is that these guys are doing a great job. They've got ads coming in, they've got email marketing set up, they've got the basics well covered, and we'll talk about their ads in a second. But the first thing we want to talk about is their pop-up. It's all well and good running ads, but in 2025, if you want to be profitable, you need to have email marketing in place with a solid strategy. And obviously, you need that front end acquisition with ads. Ads are so important, right? I don't want to take away importance away from that because you need both. And so, if you want to get your ROAS to be healthy, you want good average order value, good lifetime value from your customers, you need to get this right. So, when we first look at the list growth, which is their pop-up, at least the most basic list growth that there is, and generally the most effective, they're offering 5% off, which is not bad. It's a nice offer, and they've got a really simple pop-up. So this kind of pop-up, we've seen this work really well back in the day. I'd love for them to test some zero-party data pop-ups, which will perform really well generally, and I'll show you an example of that in a second. Here's an example of a kind of less commitment. This type of pop-up we're seeing perform really, really well at the moment. We want to ask what the goal is, right? So here for them, it could be, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to take more notes? Are you wanting to not forget things? So the reason why I personally bought this, and so I want to carry something with me that's not my phone, that's not going to get me hooked onto reels, all that kind of stuff. That's why I like this. So it could be, hey, what are you trying to achieve? And so people like that because they feel like you're personally trying to understand what the problem is. And even better yet, when the brand becomes a certain size, you can personalize the journey of each individual subscriber to match their needs. So if someone says here, I want to get healthier, then they're going to get emails about being healthier. If they want to gain muscle, you talk about putting muscle on. So you become a lot more targeted. Now, I don't recommend this for really small brands because you start over personalizing quickly. You're just wasting time creating emails. So for this brand, they could very quickly be saying, hey, what are you looking to do? Are you looking to take more notes? Are you looking to deal with ADHD? Are you looking to deal with being more organized, your to-do list? So you send them down. If they talk about a to-do list, you give them a personalized, here's how I would do my to-do list in 2025, whatever. And that will help increase conversions. Not only that, but it gets you more signups of high quality buyers. That's the important thing. We don't want to just fill our list with anyone. We want high quality, high intent buyers. And so this is good. They're doing the kind of the minimum here. I subscribed to them initially because I knew I was going to get that 5% off. But this is where things start to go wrong very quickly. The first thing I notice here is we're saying, thank you for signing up. I mean, that's as classic as it gets. And it was okay 4 or 5 years ago, but now this isn't really that efficient. We're saying, hey, we've emailed you the discount code. But here's the problem with this. A visitor comes in, they go to the pop-up, then from the pop-up have to leave the website, and that's where it gets bad. They have to go to their Gmail, they check their inbox, maybe it goes to spam, maybe they have to go to spam and find the email there, then they have to bring it back. There's a lot of room for distraction. There's a lot of room for a broken journey here. And so they still have to click the link, they have to go to the website, they have to go to the product again if the product isn't on that email, which generally it isn't because it's a generic welcome email, and they have to click the product and then finally purchase. Whereas if we were to show the discount code immediately here, we would get the sale. What if I get a fake email? It doesn't matter at the end of the day if you get a fake email. Klaviyo or whatever app you're using should clean that up. They'll notice the bounce, they'll get rid of the email immediately. But the question is, do you prefer to get the sale or do you prefer to get an email, right? And almost no one gets this right. So what you should do here at this level is show the discount code immediately. So this small tweak immediately will lift conversion rates. So that's really important. So that's how we're going to start by optimizing our pop-up here. Now, we're going to start getting into the newsletters that we get. And there's some really cool stuff that happens here and some really bad things, which I want to make sure we get fixed and we get this working the best way possible. So you can see it here, ton of stuff going on. Price is a little bit on the high side. One of the things I'm seeing with these guys is that they are putting a lot of time and energy into ads. And if we look at their ad library, they got a ton of stuff going on here. So they're clearly investing heavily on advertising. We're seeing 72 running ads here. So this is why it's so important to get our back end sorted, because you're going to see a lot more sales come through. We're going to start off by looking at the first email. So you can see here straight away what the first email looked like. First thing that's going wrong here is we're doing the classic welcome to blah blah. Here's a story. No one cares. That's the reality. They've asked you for a 5% discount. You're telling them a life story. These guys seem really cool. I can see this is a founder-led brand. You can see this here. As you have to think about, what are people trying to achieve? The first thing that goes wrong with this email is we've got some header links. Your focus here is to get a sale, but you're giving them a lot of distractions. If I come along here and click on inventions, I'm going to get sent to a collection on Shopify. If I click on about us, I'm going to get sent to a different page and contact. Our welcome email, its job is to get the sale. First, there's a small mistake here where I got my name wrong. It's because it didn't ask me for my name on the pop-up. And so it's trying to catch my name here, but it doesn't have it. This is their founder, seems like a cool guy. And it's just a lot of talk. This is not beneficial, right? To make matters worse, we've got a link here to a YouTube video, because if you click on that, it's an isolated link. There's nothing else. There's no opportunity to buy. It's a dead journey. You go here, then what do? You have to close it, right? Then I've got my discount code here, which is the cool part. But when I click that link, it sends me to the collection. If I am at the product page and I get a pop-up, we should be trying to send them back to the product, because we want the least amount of friction possible on our journeys. That's the most important part. And then when we end the email, that looks pretty good there, right? So what I'd recommend for these guys here, immediately remove all these links. They're just distractions. You'll get high click rates on your email, but it's low quality clicks. They don't drive the conversion. I would also remove this video. This is a perfect video to put on your landing page with your product. If you want to put it, you can put it at the footer of this page, and that's where it'd be valuable. And then we've got the discount code, that's fine. And I also noticed that when you click the Klaviyo link, the view collection, the discount code does not get applied automatically. You can easily do that yourself. Just Google Klaviyo, apply discount code, or Shopify, apply discount code in URL. It's easy. Yeah. Even ask ChatGPT, give it the code, and it'll put it right. And this last part, I like it. It's building good authority as the brand. It's saying this is a great brand. This is a great product. Perfect. The end, that's fine. Pretty standard stuff here, nothing special. But we're missing out on a lot of conversions with this type of email, because your focus is on getting a click to a dead video. So imagine the email, someone receives the email, above the fold, it's that first section you see on mobile. What do I see here that I want to click? I want to buy a product. And I actually found it difficult to buy the product from the email. Where's my call to action? Where's my buy this now? Here's your 5%, click here to use it. But we didn't have that. So when we look here, look at these two different emails, for example. Again, different product, but it doesn't matter. We've got a perfect precision tracking. Someone signed up, they wanted a discount, or they just wanted to join the newsletter. Boom, you hit them straight away. Call to actions above the fold always. Look at this one. This is another great example. 5 stars, over 60,000 parents protect their pets with Airball. This is kind of a tracking device. And it's clear the value, the offers there. Click here to get it. And you can see here, people can click on it and they go straight into it. Whereas with that email, we're not getting that. So after that welcome email, I used a 5% and I got my discount, right? So first thing we did here was get the Shopify default email. I'm absolutely fine with that. People are quite used to this email. It feels kind of standard. This was absolutely fine. I got a little discount. This is where we want to start seeing a good path towards increasing more sales, AOV, LTV, all that kind of stuff, right? But this first email, nothing you can do about it. So this was fine. We got an email where it said, I appreciate your order. And the one thing that we started seeing here that I think will perform well for them is they moved their CTA a little bit higher than usual. When we look at their first email, you can see here, the newsletter, the CTA is so low. We could easily grab this whole section and instead of view collection, send them directly to the product and put that here. Just doing that, they will see an immediate increase in conversions. And they started doing that here, which is really good. That's what we want to see. And a really good move by them here, and I don't want to just be talking bad things the whole time, is introducing a 10% discount for post-purchase, right? They have the whiteboard and they have these pens. They can sell more of them if they want. This could be a really good, they can sell the pens and upsell through an extra 30% off of their normal price. That could be really powerful, and that will pick some people along the way, and they'll see an increased AOV from their customers. So make their ad spend a little bit more efficient. That's an easy way there. There's other products on their website that would be complementary, but right now they only have 2 or 3 products. This is a good method to move forward. I would even move it up a little bit more. I like the founder, I think his name's Nico, right? Yeah, I like he's putting his face on a lot of stuff. That's really good because in future people want to hear from him directly. You can email people directly, and there's a power to that brand. Founder-led brands are the absolute future. Forget about the kind of classic company look that doesn't perform as well in 2025. But this was cool, pretty standard email, kind of Klaviyo setup. One thing I'm not going to mention anymore after this is across the board, those header links need to go. They're absolutely a waste of time. Every email should have one intention and one intention only. There should be a call to action that's very clear. And right now we have too many call to actions in place. And when we look at the next one is when things start going a little bit wrong. So I placed my order on the 29th. A few hours later, I received an email asking me if I was still thinking it over. Well, as a customer, that's a really weird journey because I've just received an abandoned checkout email. I've purchased the product. So some people get confused by this. They'll think, what the hell's going on, right? So there's a mistake here. Then I get a shipment is on the way. This is cool. This could easily be moved to Klaviyo and so that we're being consistent with the brand. It's okay to have a tiny bit of Shopify, but then we should be consistent with our branding because what's happening here, if you're not aware, we've got Klaviyo doing some of the emails, Shopify doing some of the others. It's a bit of a mess, right? We continue here. Why am I getting this email? So the person, in this case me, should have been excluded from this email. It just feels unnecessary. And then one thing you'll notice here, and I'll be really brief about this, is there's an attempt of doing Hey Daniel here. And they did it earlier and it worked. So you can see it here, but it looks like their setup, their email's got some mistakes. What's happening is I'm just getting that abandoned checkout email here again. Then I'm getting an update, which is my orders being sent. And finally, what happens here, my order's been processed, which is cool. It took a little bit of time for that to happen, but that's not too bad. I like this, simple to the point. I think there's a huge opportunity with all these emails to start telling a little bit more of a story. So one thing that works really well with most brands is reinforce the decision of the buyer. So I would have loved to see at any point here an email talking about, instead of some of these random emails, the abandoned checkout, for example, I'd love to see here's what people love about the memo whiteboard. You know, could be like here's some of the uses for it. So some people use it as a to-do list. Some people use it not to forget things. Whatever. There's a million reasons, a million ways of reinforcing the decision here. There's often a chance for buyer's remorse after someone purchases, so we need to try and control that as much as possible. We also want to think and bear in mind that people will rave and talk about your products if they're just excited about it. That does half the work. So for me, I was quite excited about receiving this. And so I'm now talking to all my friends about it because I think it's really cool. At this point, I'm just getting a few order updates, nothing really special going on here. I got a campaign about a different product. The campaigns was quite cool. I think they did a good job here. You can see here they led with an image first, really clear call to action. I wish they would do this more often. So they did this for a product that's being launched on Kickstarter. I don't know if this email comes from Kickstarter or Klaviyo, but this style would perform better for them. I'm pretty confident of that. So they should do more of that. You can see one call to action, everything, do the same thing. Do more of this, guys. Finally, I got an email here to track my order, pretty standard. Nothing really special going on here, just the standard stuff. I got an order delivered thing, and then I got shipping status updated. Some of these emails could be spared and saved, but overall, I think they did a reasonably good job of the bare basics here. There's a lot more that could be done. Overall, the New Things Lab brand have an amazing product, and I'll happily rate it 5 stars. But their email marketing is probably a 3 out of 5 right now. But most of the Klaviyo accounts I audit have similar problems to these. Your email marketing journey is a lot more important than most people think, because in an ideal world, it can turn a stranger into a lifetime customer. But these small mistakes will stop a visitor from buying, or they just end up confused. So it's really important to know exactly how to implement a reliable email system so that your e-commerce store generates more sales. So watch this video next where I show you the surprisingly simple strategy to triple email sales for a brand in just 30 days, step by step.